Welcome learners. We are in the class of Knowledge Organization Classification Practice under the discipline Bachelor of Library and Information Science. Today in this session we are going to discuss the use of common isolates in colon classification 6th edition. An isolate is the basic and ultimate unit for representing knowledge as presented in colon classification. The schedules of main classes consist of special isolates in their respective fundamental categories. Besides these special isolates, colon classification provides common subdivisions of ideas or concepts which may recur in different subjects. These are not parts of any main class, rather they are treated as auxiliaries. These common subdivisions are called common isolates in colon classification. In this class, we shall discuss the use of common isolates in colon classification and also the applicable rules for working out class numbers using common isolates in accordance with the rules as provided in colon classification 6th edition and colon classification 6th edition 1963 reprint version. Common isolates are not divisions of knowledge, rather mere auxiliaries and recurring concepts. These are not part of the subject proper but can form components of several compound subjects and mostly pertain to the form of presentation. They are listed once for all. Since they are attachable to most of the classes, they are called common isolates. Common isolates stand for divisions such as encyclopedia, dictionary, periodical, bibliography, statistics, or forms of presentation like history, commission report, conference proceedings, or institutions, etc. also come under the purview of common isolates. According to Ranganathan, a common isolate is an isolate idea denoted by the same isolate term and represented by the same isolate number quite irrespective of the compound subject in which it occurs or the basic subject with which the compound subject goes. He defined two broad categories of common isolates such as anteriorizing common isolate and posteriorizing common isolate, that is ACI or PCI as may be considered in abbreviations. So, here we present the categories of common isolates as proposed by Ranganathan, such as anteriorizing common isolates and posteriorizing common isolates are two divisions of common isolates. Then anteriorizing common isolates may again be categorized as according to their usability, that is ACI before space facet and ACI after space facet and ACI after time facet. Again, posteriorizing common isolate may be categorized as energy PCI and personality PCI. Energy posteriorizing common isolate and personality posteriorizing common isolate. Here we present different types of common isolates and what type of isolate ideas come under or considered under such type of common isolates. In anteriorizing common isolate, before which are attachable before space facet may be listed as, may be enumerated the isolates such as bibliography, concordance, table, formula, atlas, encyclopedia, periodical, conference proceedings, history, biography, etc. And anteriorizing common isolates which are applicable after space facet enumerates administrative reports or statistics which are periodical in nature. And again, anteriorizing common isolates which are applicable after space facet enumerates any type of stress statistics, commission report, survey, plan, source material, literature, tradition, archive, etc. And posteriorizing common isolate, among the energy posteriorizing common isolate, we can see here the calculating, designing, measuring, criticism, observation, reporting, surveying, and under the personality posteriorizing common isolate, we get here any profession or institution like learned society, industrial body, commercial body, administrative department of government. So, how these common isolate, different categories and common isolates of different natures are used in building class numbers according to CC 6th edition. We are now going to discuss such usages. Now, anteriorizing common isolate, when attached to a subject, they give it an anterior position over other subjects of the same class numbers. Another feature of these common isolates is that they do not require any connecting symbol. Documents attached with anteriorizing common isolate form the approach document on the shades. These documents can be called approach material. The approach material is usually needed for preliminary perusal before the use of regular books required for continuous study. Now, anteriorizing common isolate attachable before space facet. The anteriorizing common isolate or ACI which are applicable before space facet are enumerated in chapter 2 in of colon classification 6th edition and are used to denote bibliography, concordance, tables, formula, atlas, encyclopedia as we have already seen. Some of these common isolates have their own facet formula. The facet formulas are explained in the chapter 2 of part 1. For example, the facet formula for encyclopedia or dictionary is small k, p and p2. Here small k denotes the cyclopedia and p is devised by the geographical device and stands for geographical area of purview, and P2 is the epoch of origin to be obtained by chronological device. Here we present the ACI, attachable before space facet. Here what we can get from the chapter 2 of the schedules of colon classification, that is in the part 2. It is a glimpse of that anteriorizing common isolate attachable before space facet. Here I present an example. Here proceedings of the International Conference on the Teaching of Library Classification in the Universities held in 2023. We have taken this title arbitrarily and worked out the class number with the notation for every facet, and finally we get the notation for conference proceedings from the anteriorizing common isolate before space facet, that is the notation is small p, and it is used as the after getting the class number up to the fullest extent, that is the main class is education and then university level of education, then teaching, and then 2p is the library classification we get by applying the subject device. So we have the class number for the subject as T4 colon 3 and then 2p within parenthesis 2.51, as it is the document on the teaching of library classification, and it is a proceedings of an international conference. For that conference proceedings we get the notation small p from the ACI before space facet, and then we have to add personality facet obtained by geographical device in of the conference proceedings of ACI, and then the second level of personality facet of the ACI, which is to be obtained by chronological device. So for P we have here Kolkata. For that we get 44.k, and for P2 we have 2023, and that is got by chronological device, that is P23. So the class number is built as T4 colon 3 within parenthesis 2 colon 51, then small p 44.k and comma P23. Now we move on to anteriorizing common isolate applicable after space facet. These common isolates are applicable only after space facet in a class number and enumerated for the administrative report, or any if we have any periodical statistics for any document, we have to use anteriorizing common isolates which are applicable after space facet. There is a provision to attach time facet directly with the ACI statistics. The use of the common isolate R, that is administrative report, and S, that is statistics, can clearly be understood in the way that R is used for administrative reports produced and brought out regularly from an administrative permanent body, and small s is used for the statistics which are brought out periodically. As for example, the class number for report of Indian Economic Survey started in 1951 is X.44, then small s n5. Here we get the basic class X, that is economics, Then in India we have, and after space India to use the anteriorizing common isolate after space facet, that is small s, and for I have to add time facet, that is 1950s, and which is denoted by N5. Now we discuss, here we present another example of anteriorizing common isolate applicable after space facet. It also cover the posteriorizing common isolate together with the anteriorizing common isolate. Here we move on to uh, anteriorizing common isolate applicable after time facet. These ACI are applied only after time facet and not in other positions. These are given on page 2.6 of colon classification 6th edition 1963 reprint, and consist of as listed here. Here we can see that as statistics, if any stress statistics or commission report, survey, plan or source material, literature, tradition, archaeology, as in case of BA history, or archive, also in case of main class history, these are used as common isolate after time facet. It is used for the report submitted by a committee or commission which is appointed for a particular purpose. For example, a pay commission report, etc. In the same way, statistics is to be applied with caution. These statistical reports or statistics are not brought out periodically. As for example, if we make a statistical analysis of the internet users in the rural areas of West Bengal, it is an incidental statistic instead of a regular statistical report. Thus, it is to be considered by a anteriorizing common isolate after time facet, which is denoted by small s, whereas a statistical data supplied at regular intervals by the National Statistical Commission, Government of India, is to be fitted with the anteriorizing common isolate after space facet. Here is an example. Statistics of accidents in coal mining tunnel in India in the year 2005. It is not a periodical or regular statistics. Rather, it is a report, statistical report based on a particular study. So, here main class is mining and canonical class is economic geology. So, in economic geology, we have to construct the class number up to its fullest extent, that is the number is coal will come under the personality facet, then under second level personality facet is tunnel, then accident to the miner in the tunnel is denoted by the energy facet, where it is in space India, and in the year 2005, after constructing to the fullest extent up to time, we have to consider the common isolate, that is the statistical report, that is not in regular or periodical manner. So, the class number will be HZ as a canonical class, for economic geology is HZ7 as given in the schedule, and then coal is 40, so in the P facet, so HZ740, then P2 3, and then colon 44, the accident to minor, and then comes India, notation is 44.44, then single inverted comma P05 denoting the year 2005, and after this the time facet we have to use the notation small s for statistics, as it is the statistical report based on a particular study and not on regular basis, and it comes under the anteriorizing common isolate after time facet. Now we move on to posteriorizing common isolate. As contrasted from the anteriorizing common isolates, posteriorizing common isolates are quite different. Firstly, they give posterior position to the document to which they are attached. It means a class number fitted with a posteriorizing common isolate will come after the same class number without it. Secondly, they require a connecting symbol for their attachment. But we have seen that for anteriorizing common isolate, according to colon classification 6th edition, we do not require any connecting symbol to use anteriorizing common isolate. Posteriorizing common isolates are again of two kinds: energy posteriorizing common isolates or energy PCI, and personality posteriorizing common isolates or personality PCI. Energy PCI are the common isolates which denote any kind of action that may be used with any subject as and when required. Here, say for example, we are going to classify a document on criticism of Tagore's poem. Here the main class is literature, then literature of Bengali language, and Bengali language is denoted by 157, literature is denoted by O, and then in the second level personality facet for poem we get the notation 1 from the main class O literature. Then for Rabindranath Tagore in the third level of personality facet we get the notation capital M61, as Rabindranath Tagore was born in 1861. So, using chronological device in the third level of personality facet we get notation capital M61 for Rabindranath Tagore, and then after constructing the class number for the Tagore's poem, we have to attach notation for the criticism that we shall get from the energy PCI, and criticism is denoted by small g in energy PCI. Therefore, the class number is O157, 1 M61 colon small g. Here energy PCI is to be attached with the indicator digit. Now we move on to personality PCI. Personality PCI or personality posteriorizing common isolates are attached to any class number with a comma. These are mostly considered for the specific institution or association or learned bodies and are applicable after the space facet according to the formula as explained here. That is, we have to first determine the main class, then the space isolate, then we have to assign the personality PCI. After that we have to put the personality facets and energy facets as applicable. So personality facets in the level 1 is to be got by alphabetical device in case of a localized body, as personality PCI deals with as personality PCI denotes any organization or institution, and if the organization is considered as a localized body, the P1 of that is to be got by applying alphabetical device. But in case of a non-localized body, maybe a national level institution, the P1, that is the level 1 personality facet, is to be got by chronological device, and 9 should precede the chronological notation. And after that we have to add personality of level 2 and the energy facet as applicable or wherever required, and P2 and energy facets are to be used as that of the main class V history. Here we present an example. Functions of the President of International Scientific Union, which was established in 2018. It is an arbitrary title. Let us assign the class number for this title. So here the institute deals with the main class science or natural science, that is denoted by capital A, and then space facet is denoted by 1 as it is the international organization. So its coverage is the world and denoted by the notation 1. So A1, and then we get learned society, that is the PCI. It is an organization, International Scientific Union. It is a learned society. So it is to be denoted by the personality PCI small g, and the identifier of the organization is capital P18, that is the year 2018. We get it by using the chronological device, and it must be preceded with the digit 9 as instructed, and then we get the personality second level, that is president, and it is got from the main class V history, and function of president also is to be got by the energy is to be got from the energy facet of the main class history. Therefore the class number will be A dot 1, then comma small g, comma 9 P18, then comma 1, and function is denoted by energy, so colon 3. That is the notation or class number as obtained for the functions of the President of International Scientific Union, which was established in 2018. Anteriorizing common isolate or posteriorizing common isolate may again be used together. Two anteriorizing common isolates may be used, or any posteriorizing common isolates may be used where anteriorizing common isolates is there in the same problem, and they may be used in their respective position in the same for the same subject. Such as here we are presenting an example, that is the annual report of Raja Rammohun Rai Library Foundation, which was established in 1972. So to the fullest extent we get the class number, that is library science. The Raja Rammohun Rai Library Foundation is an institution of the in the subject main class library science. It is situated in India and it is a national level institution. So we get the class number 2.44, then small w, that is the institution personality PCI for denoting the administrative department. So it was established in 1972, and so the personality facet is to be obtained by N72 preceded by 9. Therefore, the number up to this will be 2.44 comma W comma N comma 9N72. Then the annual report of RRRLF, we have to add small r as it is obtained from the ACI after space facet, that is administrative report. Therefore, the class number will be 2.44 comma W comma 9N72, then small r. Here both the ACI and PCI are used simultaneously for the same subject. So in this class we have explained the significance and use of common isolates. What are the different types of common isolates as enumerated in colon classification 6th edition, why they are required, and how they are being attached with the class numbers derived from the main classes have been explained with appropriate examples in our discussion today. In this respect, we have to keep in mind that we have to follow the rules part and also the annexure part for the concerned rules and revision for using the common isolates. Thank you.